Check 1 2. Testing 1 2. That sounds really distorted. Test 1 2. Test 1 2. Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. Check check check. And my microphone had a little glitch. Nothing like a minute before you go live to have a glitch. Well, okay, there we go. It sure is something. All right, we'll go in here in a minute. Well, hope everybody's doing all right. All of you. Enjoyed the banter, and appreciate your interest in having this. That'd be kind of fun. Everybody is under quarantine, so what better way than to celebrate with music and peanut butter and toilet paper. So there's I'm gonna just play through a few songs. Honestly, some of these I've not played in a while, so I may be a little bit on the making up lyrics side of things, which is fine because you probably don't know them anyway. So there's that. If you're on, let me know what have you guys been what have you been doing to pass the time in your quarantine households. I know some of you have discovered new technologies. I think Tejeda hit me up earlier in the Marco Polo. Just funny to see how many people started adding these things and all the different ways that we've been connecting electronically. This being one of those things. It's pretty cool. It's a fascinating day and age to be isolated and to at the same time not really be all that isolated. I mean, as far as quarantine goes, this has been a pretty good quarantine. We were, when the whole thing started really ramping up and amping up, we had just headed down to Florida, and so we got down to Florida, and we're seeing news reports and hearing from friends back in Illinois about things that are going on, and we were at the beach with thousands of people hanging out and playing in the sand, and it seemed a little surreal actually, and almost unbelievable. Last night that we were there, again, we were visiting family down Fort Naples area, so we're Sarasota area, so we're pretty far south. That last night they actually closed the beaches, so that was a little bit of a strange experience. And then we felt like we should probably get back home before we were locked in some other state in somebody else's house. But it's an interesting time because you've got. I would probably encourage not going on social media. It's a good way to get freaked out quick. Except for this social media that you're on now. That's okay. to make sure the stream is doing all right. There's a lot going on here. I mean, it used to be you'd get up and play guitar and sing, and even somebody else would set up the microphone, and now you've got to have a computer and have your own microphone and know how to broadcast and to be a script writer and act as your own legal counsel, which I have gotten everything approved that I'm saying tonight. But disclaimer, some of it may or may not be true. So it's an interesting thing. So I admire musicians who actually do this on a regular basis. When I first started, I guess really touring for real, it was like, this is back when you had Microsoft Maps, and it was a very interesting time to say the least. You had the maps were like physical maps were what I used to get around. I was constantly lost, like literally all the time. I was lost. I would either get lost or I would lock my keys in my car because I'm kind of ADHD, and so I'd start doing something else, and I would forget to take my keys out of the ignition, and then I'd get out and I'd play the show, and I'd get ready to pack things up, and I'd be like, oh crap, my keys are in my car. So, dang it. But anyway, so this day and age with all the technology and stuff we can do in our home, it's pretty incredible. And to be able to connect in this way is pretty interesting. So if you have any questions, I'd love it for it to be a little bit interactive. Also fine playing to the wall. I've spent most of my life playing at a wall, so I can do that just fine as well. So I'm sure for some of you it might have been, as far as finding the link, the whole broadcast thing, I'm old now. I used to be young, but I'm not young anymore. And so figuring out how to best communicate these events and stuff, I just literally learned this week how to do some of this broadcasting stuff. So it'll probably be pretty painful for you to watch, actually. There's the second legal disclaimer. This first song I'm going to play a handful of songs, like I said. This first one's called Swim. It's a breakup song. I'm not breaking up. Even when I wrote it, it wasn't as a breakup song of like, yeah, and sticking it to somebody or anything like that. A lot of the songwriting that I do, I don't do it so much anymore. I used to do a lot of what's called destination writing. So I'd get some kind of image in my mind, or and I describe it and think about it. And this is one of those things that you write for like a certain amount of time and get your mind going. And so it's one of those songs where I started writing, and I just kind of kept going with it and just imagined like what a relationship ending might look like. And so again, there's nothing going on. This isn't like a secret cry for help or or anything like that. The song's called Swim. Also, it sounds pretty good, I think. Spent a lot of time, and then the microphone did something like literally 1 minute before it was going to go live. So if it sounds really terrible, I'm sorry, but you can always turn it off. Yeah. Day you were out with him, we caught eyes, he looked away, I kept my gaze and started wondering, why did I lack the words to say, and what could I have done to prevent the end? Now he has you, I had this heartache, but I guess it's sink or swim. Swim in spite of my weekend resolve, not dwelling on whose fault, though I'm presently without, I'll swim starting now. Expectations wide, my vision narrow. It's time to move on and cease to wonder. Though I'm feeling Caesar's blade, not Cupid's arrow, still I won't sink, I won't go under. Swimming Spider-Man, we can resolve, not dwelling on whose fault. And though I'm presently without, I'll swim, starting now, starting now, starting now. Thank you, thank you. When I was growing up, I think I had a cup of water. Now I drink like 12 gallons of water. So I don't know if I've just spent most of my life dehydrated or if I was much more unpleasant. I'm not sure what was going on. Okay. From Argentina. Wow. I'm an international success. Or at least I'm being internationally observed. Is that the government? Am I being watched? Or is that... Oh, his friends from Argentina. Okay. What's up, Morgans? Holy cow. Yeah, it looks like the stream's going to have trouble. I'm not sure why. You know, it'll come in and out, and you'll just have to join as you can. So that song, Swim, it was on... I did a... Actually, I didn't even make a record. It was just digital. I think CD Baby has it still. I used to make records or CDs, really, call them records, but print off CD. we recently moved and moved to a new house, and so I'm an artistic hoarder, which I feel like is okay. As my friend Jeff Mills said, it's not hoarding if it's art. So I think he meant it anyway. But I have all these, I see stuff, I'll see garbage, I see whatever it is, and I see that it could be something. I think, oh, I could make this out of it. I could, and I have made some cool things. I got this TV back here, and, I turned it into a little coffee bar kind of thing. That's kind of fun. Took a couple years to get motivated to finish the project, but that's not really the point of what I'm saying. I was probably going somewhere with some story. The records. That's right. I probably also have undiagnosed ADHD, so good luck knowing what I'm talking about. But I found a whole box of CDs, vintage Matt Larson, from this living show. I had boxes of CDs after, I traveled for a while, played school, stuff like that, but I just was never like, I don't know, buy my CD, self-gratification. I don't know. I think it's hard for artists. That's why I think it's great artists that get companies that do that for them. There's something about you feel like, I can't, I've done all kinds of sales for a living, but I can't sell my own stuff. So I don't know what that's all about. But so anyway, that record, Space Time Reclamation, I just decided to just do it digitally, and it was massively low budget. I did some of it when we lived in the RV. I did some of it in the cab of the RV. And like in the front, I have pictures of me like if you were in your car trying to make a record. That's about as low budget as it gets. Hey, what's up, dog? And this is about as low budget as it gets. What's up? He probably has to go to the bathroom, and I don't know if anybody, probably I've got a 30-second delay, so probably in 30 seconds, somebody in my family might let him out. If they're watching. They're probably not watching, though. So anyway, that one was digital, but that's Space Time Reclamation. It's on CD Baby. So there is some shameless self-promotion. How about that? This next one, I also used to enter a lot of songwriting competitions, and I didn't win. So that's kind of sad. I got an honorable mention, I think, once out of Songwriter Magazine. So, and I kept the magazine, because everybody pays attention to the honorable mentions. The kids will dig it up some year and be like, "What's this?" and then throw it out. Anyway, so this next song was one of the songs that I was. There was some competition trying to get Chevrolet to pay you as a musician, like literally when I was living off of music and not feeding my family or paying 60% of our bills. This was one of those things that I thought, oh, this will be a big help when I get it. Needless to say, I didn't get it, and I'm sure there were bills we didn't pay, and I'm sorry about that. Mostly. No, I am. So anyway, this one's called Cars Are for Driving. She's got a Chevrolet, drives it every day. It takes her to the place where she spends what she makes. Her hair is long, the radio plays her favorite song. She lives her life, spends the day before it's gone. 'Cause cars are for driving, music for listening, money for spending. Life's for the living, body for moving, soul's forgiven. She drives, lives, and loves without inhibition. Smiles on her face, wears it at her favorite place. Friends know she's grounded, though she lives like she's in outer space. And cars are for driving, music for listening, money for spending. Yeah, life's for the living, body for moving, soul's forgiven. She drives, lives, and loves without indecision. Listening, money for spending, life's for the living, body for moving, soul's forgiven. She drives, lives, and loves without indecision. Mic needs to be hotter. What? Hold on, I've my audio guy's coming. What?
Your gain is too high.
Too hot? Wait, what's too hot?
Gain.
Oh.
Now, it doesn't say which direction is lower and which one's higher, so I guess...
Check 1, 2. Is it 2? Was it distorting a little bit?
There's just a little bit.
Oh, okay. That was just the gravel of awesomeness coming out of my voice. Like I said, low budget. All right, let's get a little tune up here. Sure, I will take song requests. I don't know if I'll know them, but I will take them. I can't make a message on it. Okay, I don't know. I'm not sure. What's up, Amit? Yeah. All right. So, yeah, if you got a request, I can try. I barely know the songs I've selected, so I'm not sure how that'll work out exactly. So pardon me while I tune. There we go. Yes, thank you. That'll be probably pretty helpful. All right. So, I'm not sure if I think I recorded that one, but who knows? Who really knows? I'm not sure. All right. So this next song's called "We Won't Be the Same," and it was another one of those songs where I had written some. I was doing some writing, and the idea came to me, and I just started kind of playing around with it. And I wanted to take the song, and I wanted to write it it's kind of folkish kind of feeling, and the idea of a couple and the process of life, and the chorus kind of weaves all of them together. It's basically the line is, "We won't be the same." And to me, it was the encapsulation of a phrase that would pretty much apply to any situation, any moment, like the moment we have right now, where, we won't be the same after this. We will be forever changed. The way that we live will be changed. The way that we do things will be changed. Some of it will be for the better, and in many ways, and some of it will not be. We'll miss, like, I remember when it was like this, and I liked it better. But in the song, same kind of thing, and it goes through and it tracks through the progression of their relationship and their life. And so it's "We Won't Be the Same." Each of our lives had been hard. Both of us dealt bad cards. Met in a friend's backyard. Next there were vows and a new start. We won't be the same. Won't be the same. Next there were kids outside, trampoline jumping high. Beautiful family of five. When will the next one arrive? We won't be the same. No, we won't be the same. Vibrantly colored glass, early Sunday morning class, truth making sense at last, gives us forgives our past. We won't be the same. No, we won't be the same. your headlights, you're no longer by my side. We won't be the same. No. We won't be the same. Thank you. Thank you very much. So song it's funny because when I first played this song, or when I first wrote this song, I was pretty excited about it. I feel like it's a pretty good song. Need to work on it up. Haven't worked on my voice in a while. You know, it is what it is. But I came down and I played it for my wife's had her Bible study, her prayer group, her women's prayer group she's been meeting with for a long time. And just lay down. Here. Just lay down. Lay down. Join me. Join my low budget recording. So I wrote the song and I went down and I played it for them, and they cried and looked at me like, "What's wrong with you?" Why? That's it? The song ends there? And so I was like, I was like, okay, well, maybe people want to hear another verse. So I went and wrote another verse, and it had this like uplift of like, hey, but everything's awesome. It's okay. And I went and I was in a songwriting group with a friend of mine, Nathan Peterson, and went to this songwriting group, and I played the song, and he was kind of like, well, it just kind of goes on, and the nature of the group was not to go and feel good about yourself. This isn't one. It was a, hey, I got this song. What do you really think? And I said, well, actually, I wrote this song with, here's the ending. I wanted to have this kind of like this tension of like this traumatic thing happen. And I know the reality, like, tragedy happens, and it can, and good things come out of it, and we can have, and I know the Lord's got me, and it's good, but I wanted to have that tension and that weight of that, the loss of that moment. And so I appreciate his encouragement to say, hey, just, let it sing like that. So I did do that. But anyway, so that's what We Won't Be the Same, where that came from. What are we doing? Boy, time's a blazing. Okay. So this is another song that I wrote. Let's see. Again, it's probably been about 6 years ago. I've been unemployed a couple times in my life. The first time, if you're unemployed, you'll get through it. It can be hard. If it's the first time, it's initially like a little shocking or shattering. But the second time, I knew what to expect, and so I was a little more like relaxed about like, hey, stuff will work out, hopefully. But one of the things I did during that time, I just decided I'd write a song a day, and so I'm into low budget production, but I got into hey brother, what's up, Philly D? Cody. Hey, it's Renbird and Rose. All right, cool. So I don't even know what I'm saying. Oh, song a day, yeah. Like I said, ADHD. That'll be a thematic string running through this whole thing. So I would get up and I would write the song. I would video myself having just written it. I'm not a video editor. And then I would upload it to YouTube. And it's actually on this channel. It's hysterical to watch because it's absolutely awful. I actually thought about starting a new channel just so that you guys couldn't go look at that stuff. But it's there, so it is what it is. Pretty funny. But Jeff Taylor, a friend of mine, he called me one day. He said, "Man, he's like, I watched all your videos," and I was like, "Why? Why would you do? Why would you do that? You just let him play in the background." But anyway, so yeah. So this is one of those songs that came out of that. This is the part where I kind of try to remember what I'm doing. So I just, again, this isn't something that actually happened. It was, I just imagined it in my mind and the scenario and what it would have felt like and what things would have been going on. And it's part of what I really love about songwriting. I'm okay at it. I'm a hack, probably more so than anything, but I like that I kind of like these two parts to me where it's like I do business and get business done, and I also have this where it's like I like to be all artsy and often other places and stuff. But what I like about it is being able to play with the scenario and set design and things like that, but in the mind. Am I boring you? You know it's bad if your dog doesn't want to listen. So this song's called I Love You Alone. There's the chord. She walked into the room, and man, the lights look good on you. The kitchen was making food. It didn't smell as good as you. Came to my table, sat down. I thought you were mistaken, so I looked around. You looked at me, no surprise. Said to me with your eyes, I love you alone, and I love you alone, my dear. I love you alone, and I love you alone. We ordered, then we dined. Sipped on red wine. We sat there by the fire. And talked for quite a while. As I speak, I'm sure of this tonight, that I love you. I love you alone, my dear. I love you alone. Yeah, I love you. Yeah, I love you. I love you. Thank you. Thank you very much. I love you alone. That one has not been recorded yet. So let's see what we got over here in chat land. All right. Dogs are. Our dogs are listening too. Yeah, at least your dogs are listening. I'm giving away a dog tonight, by the way, to our top listener. What's up, man? How the Garrick family doing? Good to see you, Dante family. All right, Morgan's. That's pretty cool. A Hindi song. Ah, man. I'm still learning the alphabet. So, Fumalangi. Yeah. Okay, so all right. Well, I hope everybody is well. Genuinely, I know that some people are a little wigged out by the whole COVID-19 thing, and can be really scary when you're running out of toilet paper, mainly. But I know people are dying. There's, I think it's interesting when things like this happen because we tune in to people dying. People are dying all the time. And I think this is, sometimes I think things like this are good for our empathy. Mr. Alligator, man. You know what? If I do this again, I'll play the song Mr. Alligator. I have not, I don't remember the song. So next time I will possibly do this. Very romantic. Thank you. It's very kind. So this next song, I had a good friend, probably my best friend in high school, Mike Mosher. Great guy, hilarious, super smart guy. He's doing, he does something with the White House these days. I don't know. I know it's questionable that any friends of mine would be connected with the White House in any fashion, but he's just a good guy. I met his wife, Ronit. They came down to the Carolinas. Wow, man, it's been a long time ago. Holy cow. And they were getting married, and I at the time was a very, very poor musician and did not have the means to travel. And this is when destination wedding. I think, are destination weddings still huge? Is that something people do still? We got married right at this time where it's like they still did the old photos like this. Where everybody's standing in a line looking like a bunch of morons, and then now all the photos are so cool. Just it's amazing. I'm like, man, I wish we could redo our. But anyway, wasn't meant to be. But anyway, they had a destination wedding. At least I think they did. Maybe they didn't. Maybe it was just it was probably at the time it was probably just $200 plane ticket, and there was no way I could spend $200 on a plane ticket. But anyway, I also didn't have money for a gift, and I really wanted to let them know that I cared about them and I appreciated them. And so I said, hey, why don't you? This may or may not be a gift that you want, but tell me your story, and I'll write a song about it. And so her name is Ronit. The song is called Ronit, I Need You. So that makes sense to you. But anyway, this is the story of how they met. electronic mail and over telephone, but your face had never known. In New York City we were both passing through. I'll never forget when I met you. 2-hour meeting turned into 7, leaving me to miss my flight, but it was alright, 'cause it gave us more time. And I need you. There isn't nothing I wouldn't do to prove my love for you. And I need you. Oh, it's true. I like the feeling I've got something to lose. Legal work donated for the cause. You a hot chick from Montreal. We worked for the rights of others far away. It was good work, but not good pay. Not good pay. It was bad pay. 2 full hearts, 2 full lives, a full house when the time is right. This song only has one meaning. It's the story of our beginning. And I need you. There isn't nothing I wouldn't do to prove my love for you. And I need you. I like the feeling I've got something to lose. Thank you. Our dogs are torn between watching you and watching us eat. Hey, I don't mind being a close second for a plate of food. That's not too bad. Hey. Thanks so much. Appreciate it. TV dinners. Yeah. So, we're going to do a few more songs. I think I'll do one more original, and then I'm going to transition to probably do some worship songs. If that's all right. That'll be kind of fun to do. Yeah. So I think they liked that. It was kind of fun. That song I think is on Space, Time, and Reclamation digital download. I think it's on Spotify too. I don't know. I do know some stuff's on Spotify. It's pretty funny. I was on the last house we lived in. This is probably 7 years ago or something. I was out working on the porch, and the door opened, and my son, my oldest boy Spencer, was standing there with his buddy Nathan, and they were just looking at me. You know, like when you get starstruck and you're like, hey. Kind of reminds me like the Buddy the Elf kind of moment. Smiling's my favorite. But they were standing there, and they're like, Spencer goes, Dad, you're on Spotify. And this is back, first happening. I was like, it's because I'm a big deal. I've been trying to tell you. Yeah. It was short-lived, by the way. That's about the extent of it. So we are adopting from India, and it's an interesting time. We started the process, well over a year ago. It's been a while. We talked about it for a long time. Our story's on. If you go to don't go to the mush. Go to themothership.life, themothership.life. And you can read the full story. My wife has done a wonderful job writing and expanding on what's happening and elaborating on the things we've encountered and had to go through. And she's just done like enormous stacks of paper. It is unbelievable, the amount of paperwork, which isn't bad. Sorry, Mike. It isn't bad that you have a lot of paperwork because you want, just want people handing out kids all over the place. I mean, when we had our 3 boys, we just had them and brought them home. There was almost no paperwork, which should be concerning. Just kidding, sort of. But anyway, we started this process a while ago, and I wrote the song before we really had many decisions. We went through. It's such a somewhat of a demoralizing process, actually, because you're put in the position to say what you can and can't handle, and it's about as humanizing as you can possibly get, because we like to think we can handle just about anything. We want to label global warming or climate change, and we want a list of things we can do to control it. I can control it. I want to know the things that I need to learn and the relationships I need to position for so that I can be in control of my job, in control of my destiny. And sorry, but we have the illusion of control. And when we get a taste of the reality of things, we overbuy toilet paper. So it's human nature, and so going through the sheet and looking at all the things that we were willing and we were unwilling to say yes to. And just honestly, it was, we said no to some things and I feel like I don't think Jesus would say no to that, but I don't think I can handle that. And I know the Lord's gracious and good, and I don't feel that I'm under his thumb, but the reality of how selfish I am continues to unfold. It's like when we're single, it's like I can have dirty dishes and live in filth, at least for guys anyway, and you get married and then I'm being judged all the time because you're filthy. First, we get married, and then that starts to kind of expose our selfishness in a new way, and then we have a pet, because that's, everybody says, well, oh, you've got kids. Yeah, we've got a dog too. We have a pet, and we start seeing how selfish we are. It's like, oh man, he wants to be fed all the time. Oh, it's killing me. Oh, he's got to go outside again. Oh my goodness. And then we have kids, and we're like, wow. It's just the layers of the selfish onion just keep getting peeled back. And it's another step in that onion with the adoption process. It at the same time has been also really cool because I've seen my wife do immense amounts of paperwork that no one would choose to do. You wouldn't. If it were just me by myself, I don't know that I would have the tenacity to go through all the paperwork, and yet she has. And we cashed out our IRA early on because it was just like, I didn't start following Christ because I knew he had a great retirement package. And if you do, that's great. But I just, the Son of Man has no place to lay his head, and if we have food and clothing, we'll be content with this. And so there's just that sense about following Christ that it is not the American dream. And so going through a process like this, this adoption song I wrote before we knew who our girls were, and just talks about the fact that adoption takes faith. It really does in every sense of the word. We have friends. We're a part of a wonderful community, Mint and Glory, hey, that has just welcomed us and are good friends. And I love them dearly. And we wouldn't have got. It's like this. The Lord took us down this path where we met them at the right time that we needed to meet them, and it's beautiful how that happens. But we have two girls. Early on, I always said when we'd say, "Hey, we're going to adopt a girl," I'd say s. I'd add an S to it because I just had this feeling that we would be adopting two girls, and so we are adopting two girls, and I can't show you pictures yet, just because of where we're at in the process. But they're beautiful, and they're currently 9 and 11, and there's a lot of unknowns for us right now. We've paid for almost all the adoption, and we're raising funds for traveling now, and we have friends in Texas, Chotes, who are just awesome. They called us, don't even know them, they called us up and they're like, "Man, we need to do a fundraiser for you to help pay for travel." And we've had thing after thing like that that's just been like, "What? You don't even know us. Why would you want to help us?" And that was just, it was so cool. And but you know, a lot of life is on hold right now, and we don't know how things are going to work out and what's going to go on. And that can be a little unnerving, but we're looking at it as, you know, we want to be thoughtful during this time, but not fearful. And I know that we're going to get those young ladies. They might be 10 and 12 by the time we are able to get over there and bring them home. We've already got a room waiting for them. But this song was birthed out of that. And I knew, you know, when we first got the case filed and we saw, you know, we've been through 3 different, you know, groups. We looked at a sibling group of 4 first, and that was like, that's a lot of kids. I really hope they find a home, but it's like, wow, I think that'd be, again, one of those moments where like, wow, we're horrible people. You feel like a horrible person. But I was driving, I worked on this song, and David Yen, a friend of mine out of Chicago, played violin. We're going to be doing some mastering sessions here with Brett Strasma pretty soon here to get a few different versions of this. But David Yen played violin on it, and Christina Sika played cello, and it's really starting to sound like a wonderful song. And but it was before that time of really knowing what was going to be involved, but just having a sense of it's gonna be a long journey, and we're gonna find our way there. So this is the song. You are far away, not out of reach, and we'll have to make a way across the sea. You are far away, not out of reach, and we'll have to make a way across the sea. Build a boat, take a plane. All we've got's a dream, no picture and no name. Build a boat, take a car, or take a plane. All we've got's a dream, no picture and no name. Biggest challenge, slowest motion. Deepest waves, farthest ocean. And the money's tight, but our love is great. God is right, adoption takes faith. And are you insecure, without a home? And I wonder if you ever feel alone. 'Cause I can see a smile, in spite of what's been rough, in that moment when you realize you are loved. Biggest challenge, slowest motion. And Deepest waves, farthest ocean, and the money's tight, but our love is great. God is right, adoption takes faith. You are far away, not out of reach, and we'll have to make a way across the sea. Build a boat, take a car, or take a plane, and all we've got's a dream, no picture and no name. Biggest challenge, slowest motion, deepest waves, farthest ocean, and the money's tight, but our love is great. God is right, adoption takes faith. There's that one part that's killing me right now. Oh, man. Hey, I appreciate... Let's see what's going on here. Hey, Brother Love. The tuning song, yeah. I was doing that earlier. Are you watching another show while you're listening? Just kidding. My name is Stinky Uncle Hopi. Good request. I think it's past your bedtime. Hey, Stephen Hatfield. Actually, that Row Neat song that I played earlier, Andy Hatfield, who plays all kinds of stuff, he's a phenomenal musician, played mandolin on that song on the recording. It's been fun getting together actually with his dad, Steve. He's an awesome banjo player. I'm trying to learn bluegrass, and I just have not played a lot of music in these recent years, so it's a little bit of a challenge. But I appreciate you being a part of this performance for this evening and joining me, taking time out. It's been fun having people pop in. It's an interesting day and age where you can kind of hop in, go do other things, and watch a concert while you're watching TV or all those kinds of things. But I appreciate it. I can't wait to... there it is, right there. Next performance, we'll have that hammered out. But I'm so excited to share those the little girls with you, to show you who they are, and for them to maybe be in the background running back and forth for future shows. Maybe we'll even do a show from India. Probably not, because this is a very complicated, pretty complicated thing. But would appreciate your prayers, and as we're getting our adoption stuff together. If this was enjoyable, if you have any honest feedback or thoughts about, hey, it might be better if you did this, feel free to private message those, of course. All the wonderful things, though, you can totally post for everyone to see. No, but I'm very grateful for you taking time out. Appreciate you spending a little bit of your evening with me, and I think we'll end it with a worship tune. How about that? Be blessed during this time of quarantine, and pray that the Lord's goodness would be revealed to you. And if you haven't been reading your Bible, or have never read your Bible, that you might take some time to do that and to seek the Lord, and you will not be disappointed. I know. Maybe I'll do a couple tunes. I got. I'll do one worship tune I did, or I wrote. See if I can find it. There we go. Lyrics spin a little bit, so I gotta look at the lyrics here. So this song, Spencer and I went to Israel, and was it 4 years ago? I think it was about 4 years ago. We went to Israel, and I'd actually gotten this old beater guitar on Instagram. I took a picture of it and shared about it. But I was writing a lot of songs on this guitar at the time. There was something about playing this chord, and you can hear the overtones and harmonics. For whatever reason, I'm not sure if it's just all guitars, but for whatever reason, it caught my attention, and so I wrote a couple worship tunes in this with capoed on the 4th fret. I just really liked it. So this song's called Giver, and I was going to be leading some worship in Israel, and actually it was pretty hilarious because we went over there. We went to Kfar Saba, and that Sunday they didn't have a drummer for Shabbat. It was, I guess, Saturday morning. So I sat in, and I'm not a drummer, but it was better than what they had. Not much better, but it's too bad. But we talked about, I brought my guitar, and so I was leading worship at different places around Israel. And one of the coolest things was we were at a synagogue that was actually two of the really sweet evenings. First one we had, we were at it's named Sea of Galilee, and they had excavated this whole area, and it was actually a pretty big Jewish town, and there was a synagogue in it. And synagogues weren't just all over the place, and it was, not a lot bigger than this room, actually. So you just realize, like, this is where they all got together, and that this is one of those ones where, it said Jesus went teaching in the synagogues, and it's talking about in that area. And so, like, he was pretty likely there teaching on a Shabbat, and just the idea of that, that you're touching the dirt and walking in these places was such a cool thing. And so we did some worship there, and then the next day we were at a synagogue that was next to Peter's mother's house, and it was so awesome. We were doing a number of different songs. We had been doing songs in Arabic and Hebrew, but it was such an international space where we had a group from Sweden. We'd done How Great Is Our God, and just that one's known all over the place, of course. But they sang it in Swedish, and had in Hindi. There were some individuals from Hindi or from India, like I said, in Arabic and Hebrew and in English. It was a beautiful, beautiful thing. And I mean, the voices were loud and were together in their own languages. It was a fascinating time. But this is one of those songs that came out of this, leading up to that trip anyway, Giver, and the idea of what God does for us. So do this one, and if you're still hanging tight, maybe we'll do one more after that. But giver of forgiveness, lover of my soul, I'm empty without you. Like a house that's not a home, giver to the simple. Wisdom's burning flame, I'm lost without you. Wandering in shame, but you give me everything. one who rescues me, giver of enlightenment, the truth that sets me free, giver of the obvious. It's right in front of me, but you give me everything. Everything I need, you give me everything. Everything I need. When I'm broke, you comfort me. And when I'm alone, you help me see you're here with me. 'Cause you give me everything. Everything I need. You give me everything. Everything I need. I think we'll end there. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you have any thoughts, if this was enjoyable and you'd like to do it again sometime in the future, let me know that. And I'll even prepare some of the songs next time. Now, I appreciate you guys carving time out. So good to hear from so many of you, particularly even all over the world. Glad to know that you're doing well. If there's songs you'd like to hear, maybe at some other time. I was about to play some cover songs, but I realized, I don't know. I'm not sure what the whole licensing issue is and stuff, so I don't know. I'm overly cautious in my old age. But I hope to in the future, as things are de-isolated. De-isolated? Is that a word? De-icing. There's de-icing? Is there de-isolating? But I'd love to be able to do some bluegrass with Mr. Hatfield, Doc Hatfield, and maybe if Andy would join too, that'd be a lot of fun. I think they got a bass player even, but just for fun, might pull that together when things aren't so COVID-19-ish. Get everybody in a room and around a microphone and do some bluegrass standards. But again, appreciate you. Thank you for joining me. Pray blessing on your home and that you'd be blessed. And I look forward to seeing you and sharing a cup of coffee with you in the near future. God bless. We'll speak soon.